So this video might have taken a slight bit longer than expected.
Drop it.
So with the release of alpha testing for dungeons, we know that there are 5 different classes. Obviously you got DPS, Archer, Mage, Tank, and Healer, with each of them getting their own special ability. If possible, only one player should be playing each class, because otherwise you don't get to use their ability/perks. Once Dungeons is fully released, we'll be able to see each class-specific items and armor sets, etc. But until Dungeons is fully released, we'll have to be stuck with the items we have now. So this video is going to be telling you about how you should fully prepare with your specific class in your Dungeons team. And a fair warning to you guys, each of these setups are the best setups, meaning you're going to need to have some of that sweet, sweet dough. Oh god, someone please kill me. Quarantine is making me go a bit insane. On a completely different note, subscribe or I will come to your house and make you press the button with your... I'm joking. I'm not. Anyways, jokes aside, let's jump right into it. Starting off with the class that the majority of us are playing right now, at least if you're good, is the Berserker class. So I would either go with a Midas or an AOTD, Midas obviously being the best unless you have an Ender Dragon pet. If you're using a Midas, go with either a Tiger, Lion, Golem, or Blaze. If you're using any of the pets except for Blaze, stick with Superior Armor. But if you are using a Blaze pet, then of course you have to use Frozen Blaze Armor. Another sword you should probably carry would be the Reaper Falchion for the zombie mobs that are in there, and the bosses, so you'll actually do more damage. And you could also carry a Scorpion Foil as a backup for the spider mobs. Next up is the Archer class. If you're running the Archer class, or Ranger class, whatever you want to call it, you should completely disregard your HP and your defense, and then focus on a completely all-out attack build. So, if you're not near the mobs and you want to be an effective Ranger, Superior Armor is still an okay set, going with a Mosquito Bow, and if possible, if you can't get a Mosquito Bow, you can stick with the Runins. It's not good, but it's still an option. For pets, you obviously want to go with Skeleton, that's the clear Ranger pet, and for the options of armor, you want to either have your Superior, as I said before, or you could also run a Fancy Tux. Yes, it's expensive, but it will make you do the most damage, and you can also flex your armor. And now for the most boring class. Healers! Woo! Yeah, healers. Okay, the class itself is very boring, and only losers will run it, or the people who got stuck in a Dungeons group at the last second. It has never really been a class that anyone runs, because Hypixel players are, how you say, interesting. Anyways, for healers, running Wise Dragon Armor is probably the best, or Crystal Armor if you're okay with bringing Fragile as anything. Though, if you are running a goddamn motherfucking Mender helmet, I want you, anyone in your group, to go to their house and murder them with a knife. That is not a joke. Yes, it is. No one sue me, please. You're also going to want an Ornate Zombie Sword and an Overflux with a Mending Stick of any kind, preferably the best one. And for a pet, running a Jellyfish is probably your best bet, but you can have Sheep if you are a little poor. Mages are a bit more interesting, but a little bit broken due to intelligence not really working how it intended and not really scaling how it's supposed to. Your ability damage is supposed to be boosted by your intelligence, but of course, programmer brain go brrr. If fixed, mages will be OP, so if you want, you should wear a Wise Dragon set, and a Crystal set isn't really an option because it will make you really fragile, and you will get split off from your team while playing Dungeons. For pets, I would recommend that you say a Sheep, obviously being the all-out mage pet. No other pets are really an option. I see you pig pet fans, Techno Stan, but I will ban you from my channel. Tanks. Tanks, you wear, tier 12, obviously, and a Reaper Mask for the double healing. And if you're wearing a Reaper Mask, you go with the Reaper Scythe for your weapon. And carrying a pair of Jingle Bells would be really good for all the mobs targeting you and not your teammates if you actually want to be a proper tank. For your weapon, I recommend you go with a Scythe if you're using a proper weapon, and if you are using a Scythe, you should go with a Ghoul pet. But if you're using another weapon like a Midas or AOTD, you could also go with a Whale pet, a Phoenix, Turtle, or an Elephant. overall, the main members that you want on your team, if you can't have everyone play their part at the same time, you definitely want the DPS, tank, and healer, main 3, to stick together. But if you're not on a Dungeons team yet, I would recommend you go with a Ranger, Healer, Mage, or anything that is a lesser played class. Tanks and DPS are the 2 main classes, so they're usually filled on most Dungeons teams. Anyways, subscribe or I'll ban you from Hypixel. Wait, shoot, Hypixel. I want more life of my Jake shit, and I'm getting tired of all the same shit. I wanna see my family, wanna see my friends, I've been slept on like my name is.